This is where this channel all started. I was tearing apart in episode 1 our Daewoo Mini to see why it didn't work anymore and thought some of you guys would probably enjoy tearing it apart with me. Now it's been months and months and here we are. We're finally getting back to that episode 1 story and we'll see what we're gonna do about it. And spoiler alert, it's dead. Washing machine update is dead. It is done. I'll show you all about it here in a minute. I'm gonna uninstall it and then I'll show you what the final verdict is and the plan going forward. But yeah, that one's done. Garbage, throw in the trash. If you have one of these, I'm sorry. Okay, washing machine is out and this is now garbage. I'll show you some of the clips from before of what happened. But basically the way this is designed is that behind the drum is where there's the arms where it connects to this. And those arms all got super corroded because water and hair and dirt and whatever else gets stuck onto those little arms and then doesn't really get out. And maybe, I'm sure it's supposed to, but it just didn't. And because all that metal deteriorated, it got gummed up in everything and now it has broken other parts in there and you can't get parts for this anymore. I have reached out to Daewoo. Daewoo has said, no, we don't make that washing machine. That's actually, what's it called, like white labeled, where someone else makes it under their name and I can't get parts.
Until this broke, we actually really loved this washing machine and it did really well for us. And it was really one of the very few only options that were available at the time a few years ago when we got it. What, 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
So we're not gonna give it a horrible review. It definitely wasn't designed for the marine application, so wearing out makes sense. But it is a bummer for it to have worn out, and we know a lot of you guys got it as well. And the biggest bummer is that they don't offer support anymore, because we could fix it if we were able to get parts.
Look at all this room for activities or clothes. We don't have a lot of clothes, but we have realized that we actually do want that closet back. Right now, our current clothes setup is, these are Jade's cabinets, these two, and my clothes are over here in this. And you may think, oh, this is a lot bigger, but actually, it's not, because most of it is water maker control. So I have up there and down there, and they're not very deep. So being able to have some place that we can hang up some clothes, maybe some of our nicer clothes, you know, date night shirt and pants, that's about it, would be nice. Here is our new TinyWASH washing machine. That's actually the name, TinyWASH. This machine is made for mobile use. Basically the exact same size, almost same dimensions, same capacity as our other one. This one does have some other features I'll talk about, but I want to show you the part that I think is the coolest.
Just from the get-go, you should know it is not currently available in the United States. It's available in Europe only.
At the very least, I don't know if they're gonna try and sell in the US, but at the very least, if there's enough interest, they can very easily make this a 110 machine. Right now it's a 220, so if you're interested, let's make it happen because I would like a 110 version. I'll put the specs here on screen so you can see what its capacities are, its draws, all those sort of things to see if it would be a usable washing machine for you. But I'll put the link also in the description and somewhere on screen. You can go check it out yourself.
This is not a sponsored video. It originally was going to be back in the good old days when we had a very delusional idea about our timetables, but because we ended up being so absorbed in the hardtop project, taking a lot longer than that was originally planned, we ended up paying for the washing machine. So our own money is on the line here with this review. However, in the process of it being sponsored at the beginning, Brett had the opportunity to really talk to the owner. They had a video call, lots of back and forth, and they're a really cool company that we're really excited to be working with, even though we're not working with them, but we're almost working with them. Cool company, family owned. This is a washing machine that was specifically built because they are also in the mobile tiny home living niche and they saw a need, and there was a need, there is a need. So many of us need a good washing machine and there really wasn't anything good. That's why we end up with the Daewoo, but as you can see, that didn't work out. So they filled this need, they built a really cool product, and that is what we are showing today. Okay, look at this. This is the motor right there. That's it. No pulleys, no belts, nothing, way less wear and tear. There's no leverage coming on the bearings there. This is brushless. And so this should last forever. And also that means that you can actually see it spinning behind there. That's the drum. So the drum is right behind this wall. So that means that there's no other, stuff can't be getting stuck behind the drum like it did on that one. So it's just amazing. That's makes so much more sense to me. This seems like the obvious choice. Good riddance.
Good riddance. Here's the idea, is that we'll put the washing machine here and we will make a holding tank that lives down here. A smaller one. We rarely need a holding tank for very long, and we still have the holding tank in the rear. So really that holding tank is just there for a short time, kind of emergency. You know, right now we're in the marina, we don't need holding tanks at all. So yeah, so that's the idea. It doesn't actually fit, is the problem. It's too deep, it'll actually stick out. I'm gonna cut out this part right here. This is just kind of a fascia, you can see it's pretty flimsy. You might think, oh, that's there to hold the holding tank, so if it leaks or anything, no, it's not, because there's big old holes down there. It really was just to hold the holding tank kind of in place. I cut out that pan, but now it doesn't fit out. Grr. Yeah, take this off. Didn't see that one, didn't foresee that one. Gross. This is dirty in here. It's just from holding tank leaking. This is the holding tank vent, so that is definitely leaked. I mean, that's gross. We'll get it cleaned up and then start taking some measurements and see if it's gonna fit. I didn't know this beam was here. This beam might be our downfall. Can't cut that. That is a structural beam. I took the cover off the washing machine to kind of use it as a template to see how big it is. And you can see it's here, move the camera back. It's definitely bigger than the hole, but trim this more and this one. Then we'll have a better idea of how, if we can actually get it in there. But I think just basing on how big it looks like it's gonna come to about here, which then means all of this space down can be holding tank, and we'll just make a custom, probably, you know, fiberglass tank that fits in this little kind of triangle-ish area. And I mean, that should be plenty. Yeah, first let's see if we can actually get the washing machine in here. Finally got it clean, so this is not hazardous anymore. Here's what we came up with. A lot of dirty. And I ended up grinding away this lip here, and on this side too, and then kind of all the way back to make room for everything. And show you this. This is the cover, which is a little bit bigger than the actual washing machine. So if this fits, I think it'd work. It's still pretty tight, but you can see it sticks out just a little bit. But I think we'll mount it just like that. It'll stick out just a touch, and then we'll build a surround around it to make it all look nice and flush. But I think that looks pretty dang good, don't you think? It is time to see if I can fit the washing machine here. This is not mounted yet, but I want to make sure the washing machine actually fits in here. If it does, I can mark the mounting holes, drill them out, epoxy this whole thing, then we'll get it mounted, get that board mounted in there. Then we can get this mounted permanently, plumbed, electrified. But first, I need to make sure that it actually fits through the hole.
Okay.
It fit!
Success! That is a horrible sound. Beautifully done. Let's see if the washing machine will sit on it now.
That one almost to death.
Oh yeah. Okay. Woo! Good job. Can we try that again?
Good job. Thanks.
The goal is to get it through the door. That's the goal right now. That's the extent of it.
Yep.
The problem with our arms.
gosh, you're tripping really bad.
I was trying to take the weight off of it.
It's like dying there. Yeah.
All the way to the side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's been a bit of a ordeal because we decided we're putting it in here officially in the bathroom where the holding tank used to be. So I ended up having to cut out a bunch of this area so it could actually fit in the hole, and then had to make it bigger down here, kind of move everything to the side, get the wood cut to the right size, get the holes in the right place, and then I glassed it in place. So that wood, once it cures, right now it's not cured, should be very permanent to the boat. So that's the washing machine. But we need a holding tank. I guess we don't need a holding tank, but we do need a holding tank. Legally, you have to have a holding tank for every toilet that can flush. We could just deactivate this toilet so it doesn't work and just use the other one, because we do have a holding tank for the other one. But we decided there is room, so we're making a holding tank. So I've been working on this. This is just out of some scrap foam that we had, and it's all a very kind of complex shape to get it to fit in the place that it can sit there. But it's pretty big. Like this, I don't know how big it is. I would guess it's probably around, I don't know, 10 gallons, which, you know, that's not a very big holding tank, but that gets you by for a few days. So this will fit underneath the washing machine. I actually haven't tested it since I built it completely. So let's see if it fits. So we'll have to put it in like that. And it goes down. There's some hoses down there that'll have to get moved, but
Nice.
that fits right there.
Perfect.
Oh, but obviously the holding tank is not going to be made out of foam.
Oh yeah, obviously. Ew.
This is just basically a mold, and I'll sand this radius all the corners, and then wax it, fiberglass it, and then cut it out. Probably cut a hole in it, and then break out all the foam. That's the plan.
I'm making a cardboard template of the space so I can get the wood ready for the cover of the washing machine. Trying to get the angles all right.
What's that box from?
We got some teak flooring, and it looks great, and it turned out to match the cabinets really well. And so we're going to use the same material that's left over to kind of frame in the washing machine, so it should tie it all together.
It's all cured up, and the wood is sealed. It's covered in epoxy. I turned these bolts actually into studs to make it easier to install everything, so I can just put it through, put a nut on the backside. That way we can still get everything off and on. Originally I was just gonna have the bolts sticking through the board, but then I realized that if these ever need to get replaced, they strip out, I would have to cut them off, and that'd be a pain. So I basically turned them into studs.
I hate carpentry. Okay.
I don't know if this will be the final time it goes in. It might be. It's me or the camera if it's in this space. Mounted. This thing super solid now.
Yay!
Great.
It's so adorable.
I love it.
Perfect.
Yeah, just gotta plumb it and plug it in. I was about to cut the wire on this washing machine because I want to thread it through right there, through the bulkhead, and this plug doesn't fit, so I was gonna cut it and then recrimp it on the other side. And because that's the last thing, I have it all plumbed. So the freshwater hose right there, the drain hose, just not focusing, let's focus on my hand, there you go. Those are both plumbed now. They need to get kind of zip tied away so they're in a nice spot, but they both have water going in and out of them. And Jade made the point of, you know, maybe you should plug it in and make sure it works before you cut the wires. That way you know it's not your fault. And I thought, you know, that's a really good idea and probably something we should have done a long time ago. Before we made major changes to our boat to make sure this thing actually works. So be it.
Turned it on?
We've never even plugged it in. I'm sure it works.
Good thing I'm just like laying here giving good feedback.
Yep, good thing.
Thoughts. I'm just...
You're the best.
You're welcome. That's a pleasant sound.
Significantly less Korean.
Significantly.
Oh, all right. Wow, there's a lot of settings on this thing. I just hit go, and it's really going in there.
Can you put the plastic back on?
Sure.
Well, I'm pulling out the water.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the original valve that I had in there. This was the drain valve, but it leaks. It doesn't actually seal all the way. It doesn't ever actually all the way close. And so what would happen is, because I'm using the same hose, the same pipe that comes from the toilet inlet, so that the toilet inlet water is the outlet for the washing machine. Those share the same through hole. So what would happen is, when you would try to flush the toilet, it would actually suck in air from the washing machine, because this wasn't closing all the way. And I think there's a couple reasons. One is this wasn't designed to be on continuous use. It's not made for that. And so I think it actually burned up. You can see some like distortion there. So I think it melted, burned up. It definitely did not used to have all that discoloring. It is being replaced with this one. Basically, this one is a full ball valve, so it turns completely. And then when power is turned off, it has a little capacitor, I'm assuming what it is. It turns and closes it. So it doesn't take any power to stay open. It just turns, stays open, and then when when you flick the switch or power gets interrupted, it turns itself off. It closes itself. So this is designed for continuous use. This should be a good replacement. Okay, can you unplug it? What?
You're like, okay, plug it in for me. I'm like,
Oh, I couldn't tell.
get it to plug in.
No, it's cool. This thing's super cool.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like trying to film an effect or something, like lights turning on. And
No, just this opening closing.
Oh, okay.
So it totally works.
Welcome to the big shop. It's the middle of the night, but we're allowed to be here. But it seems weird to try and be quiet because we're about to run power tools. And now Jade is perfecting the floor of the shower teak. Man, it was so nice having the right tools for the job. That was so fast compared to how long it would have taken to do that all at home. I did some trimming on this holding tank, made it a little bit smaller in pretty much every dimension. See all my scraps there. It fit in its spot, but just barely. And so I figured once I add glass, it might not fit. And I don't want to have to smash it in there, and I want to be able to have a little bit of room for some mounting tabs and different things. So shrunk it just a little bit. It's still plenty big, and so I'm going to wax this now and get it ready for fiberglass.
Based on the state of the boat, you'd probably think it's the middle of the night, because usually I only tear stuff apart this bad if it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, but that is not the case this time. This time, I installed the switch. I think I talked about doing this, but I don't know if I ever really talked about it, but here's what it is. I installed this little switch that it'll get mounted here somewhere, and when you push it, that now opens the valve and turns on the washing machine, because there's a solid state relay that clicks on that then sends power to the transformer to transform the 110 to the 220, and it's all automated.
So awesome.
So cool. Now, we're on a boat, so it probably won't last that long. But if we get a year or two out of it, that's pretty cool.
Just the fact that you got it going at all and even had that idea, I'm impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed. I think my husband is so cool.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I feel like I should buy you like a treat or something. As
I need some new.
I feel like I need to give you
grips.
like a trophy. Like I feel like you just won at life right now. Is this the perfect washing machine for our sailboat? We think it very well could be, and we are excited to test it out for many seasons to come. If you're considering it, here's some important things to know. It has 3.3 kilograms of capacity. It can use hot water if you have a hot water heater, or if you don't, it has its own water heater. So hot water is an option to get stains out. It has the ability to dry the clothes as well with a 1000 watt heating element. It has a multi-year warranty, and most importantly, it was made explicitly for mobile use.